Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real English, Real Life. I'm really happy you're here today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us again. Whether you're listening on your way to work, at home, or just relaxing, we're really glad you're here with us.
Yeah, it always means a lot when you spend some of your time with us.
Definitely. And today's topic is something I think a lot of adults secretly struggle with, but don't always talk about openly.
Yeah, today we're talking about making friends as an adult.
And if you're listening right now and thinking, wow, that already sounds hard, you're not alone.
Not at all. A lot of people feel this way, even if they don't say it out loud.
So let's start with a simple question. Why does it feel so much harder to make friends now than when we were kids?
Seriously, when we were children, it was so easy. You'd walk up to someone and say, "Hi, what's your name?"
And then, oh, you like cartoons too? Oh, you like the same game as me?
Cool, best friends. No overthinking, no pressure.
Exactly. Or you just sat next to someone in class, shared a snack once, laughed at the same joke, and boom, friendship unlocked.
There was no awkwardness. You didn't think, is this weird? Or what if they don't like me?
You just connected.
But as adults, things feel very different.
Yeah, making friends as an adult feels complicated.
Sometimes awkward.
And sometimes, honestly, even lonely.
You start overthinking everything. Like, is it okay to ask them out for coffee? Or am I bothering them?
Or you think they probably already have enough friends.
And slowly, without realizing it, you stop trying.
So, in this episode, we want to talk about all of that.
Why making friends as an adult feels harder,
What really gets in the way, like fear, time, and routines.
and most importantly, how we can actually make friends as adults,
Not in a perfect movie-like way,
but in real life.
because this is real English, real life, and real-life friendships are messy, slow, and sometimes uncomfortable.
But they're worth it. Let's start with the big question. Why is it so hard to make friends as an adult?
I think one big reason is time. When we're adults, life is just busy.
Yeah, work, family, responsibilities, errands, there's always something to do.
And by the end of the day, you're tired. Mentally tired, physically tired.
Sometimes you don't even want to text your existing friends, let alone meet new people.
Exactly. Making new friends takes energy, and honestly, most of us are already running on low battery.
You finish work, you just want to sit down, scroll on your phone, watch something, and relax.
The idea of going out, talking to new people, and starting conversations can feel exhausting.
Another thing is that adults already have routines.
Yeah, your days start to look the same.
You go to work, go home, maybe go to the gym, scroll on your phone, sleep, and repeat.
And once you're in that routine, it's hard to break out of it.
There's not a lot of natural space to meet new people.
When you're a student, it's completely different.
You're surrounded by people your age all the time. Classmates, group projects, clubs, events.
You're forced to talk to people, even if you're shy.
But as an adult, no one really forces you to socialize.
If you don't make an effort, you can go days or even weeks without having a real conversation.
And then there's work.
Yeah, work is tricky.
Your coworkers might be very different from you, different ages, lifestyles, or interests.
You might like them and get along at work.
But that doesn't automatically turn into friendship.
Sometimes the relationship stays professional.
And sometimes you don't want to mix work and personal life.
Plus, after spending the whole day with people at work, some adults just want to be alone.
So even though we're around people, it doesn't always lead to connection.
And all of this makes making friends as an adult feel harder than it should be. Another big reason is fear.
Oh, yeah. Adults overthink everything.
You start asking yourself questions like, do they actually want to be my friend? Am I being annoying? Is it weird to invite them for coffee or lunch?
And sometimes you don't even ask those questions out loud. They just stay in your head.
Yeah, and the more you think about it, the harder it becomes to act.
As a kid, you didn't think like that at all. You didn't worry about being rejected.
You just asked, and if the answer was no, you moved on.
But now, rejection feels more personal.
It feels like it says something about you.
Like, maybe I'm boring, or maybe I'm not interesting enough.
And that can really hurt.
There's also this feeling that a lot of adults have, even if they don't say it.
The feeling that everyone already has their own friend group.
You think they've known each other for years,
There's no space for me.
so you stay quiet. You don't reach out.
But that thought is so common, and honestly, it's usually not true.
A lot of people look like they have everything figured out.
Inside, though, they're feeling the same way.
They're also hoping someone else will make the first move.
Fear stops a lot of friendships before they even begin.
And the sad part is, most of the time, the fear is bigger than a reality.
One important thing we really need to talk about is this. Friendship looks different as an adult.
Yes, this is so important, and I think a lot of people forget this.
As kids, friendship often meant spending a lot of time together.
You saw your friends almost every day, at school, after school, on weekends.
You didn't have to plan anything. You were just always there.
But as adults, that's not always possible.
Life gets fuller. Work schedules, family, relationships, responsibilities.
Sometimes just finding one free evening can feel impossible.
And because of that, many adults start to worry.
They think, why don't we talk as much anymore? Are we drifting apart?
But less time together doesn't automatically mean the friendship is weak.
Exactly. Adult friendships can be more flexible.
They're not about constant contact.
They're about understanding.
Maybe you only meet once a month.
Maybe even less than that.
Maybe you mostly text.
Or send voice messages when you finally have time.
And that's okay.
Because when you do talk, it's meaningful.
You catch up. You really listen.
You talk about real life, stress, goals, worries, growth,
Sometimes you can go weeks without talking.
and then pick up right where you left off.
That's a sign of a strong adult friendship,
Not constant messages,
not daily hangouts.
but mutual respect and understanding.
Quality over quantity.
Always.
And once you accept that friendships change with time,
It becomes a lot easier to appreciate the friendships you do have. Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually make friends as an adult?
Yeah, because it's one thing to talk about the problem.
But it's another thing to know what to do.
So here's the first tip. Put yourself in social situations on purpose.
Yeah, friends don't usually appear magically at your door.
If you stay home all the time, it's really hard to meet new people.
And honestly, a lot of adults wait for the perfect moment.
But that moment rarely comes.
Sometimes you just have to decide, okay, I'm going to try.
You have to go where people are.
That could be a class, a workshop, a gym.
A language exchange, a book club, or a hobby group.
It doesn't have to be anything extreme.
Even something simple like a weekly class can make a big difference.
The key is shared interest.
When you already like the same thing, starting a conversation is much easier.
You don't have to think too hard about what to say.
You can ask simple questions like, how long have you been doing this? Or what got you interested in this?
And those small conversations matter.
You might not make a close friend on the first day.
But seeing the same people again and again builds familiarity,
And familiarity builds comfort.
which makes connection more natural.
Also, it's important to say this. You don't need to be super confident.
Or outgoing,
You just need to show up.
again and again.
That's often how adult friendships really start. A lot of people say, I hate small talk.
Same. A lot of us feel that way.
small talk can feel boring.
Or awkward.
Sometimes it feels fake, like you're just saying things to fill the silence.
But the truth is, small talk is often the bridge to real connection.
You don't start a friendship with deep life stories.
You don't sit down with someone you just met and say, so, what's your biggest fear in life?
That would be a little intense.
Yeah, way too much, too fast.
You start with simple things,
Easy, safe questions.
like, how long have you been here?
Or, what got you into this?
Small talk helps people feel comfortable.
It creates a relaxed space.
And once people feel comfortable,
They start to open up naturally.
one small question can lead to a longer conversation.
And that longer conversation can lead to connection.
So instead of seeing small talk as pointless,
Try seeing it as the first step.
small talk opens the door.
You don't have to walk through it immediately.
Just open it.
Here's a really big one. And honestly, this might be the hardest part for a lot of adults. Be the person who initiates. This means being the one who sends the message first, suggests meeting up, or starts the conversation. And I know this sounds simple, but in real life, it's not easy at all.
Yeah, this part is hard, but it's also powerful. As adults, we often wait. We wait for the right moment, we wait for a sign, or we wait for the other person to reach out first. And while we're waiting, nothing happens. The truth is, a lot of potential friendships never start, not because people don't like each other, but because both sides are waiting.
Exactly. A lot of people are sitting at home thinking the same thing you're thinking. They're asking themselves, should I message them? Or would that be weird? Or maybe they're not interested. So everyone stays quiet, even though both people might actually want to connect.
That's why taking the first step matters so much. If you say something like, hey, do you want to grab coffee sometime? Or, I really enjoyed talking with you. Do you want to hang out again? You're not being pushy or strange. You're being clear, open, and honest.
And honestly, you're probably doing them a favor. For many people, it's a relief when someone else initiates. It takes the pressure off. It makes things feel easier and more natural. Sometimes all a friendship needs is one person brave enough to start.
Now, let's talk about the part everyone worries about. What if they say no? This is where our minds can go to a really negative place. We immediately think it's rejection. We think it means they don't like me or I did something wrong.
But most of the time, that's not the case. They might be busy. They might be stressed. They might already have plans. Or they might like you, but just not have the time or energy right now.
And that has nothing to do with your worth as a person. Their answers about their situation, not you.
So it's really important not to take it personally. The real success isn't whether they say yes or no. The real success is that you tried.
Because every friendship you've ever had started the same way. Someone made the first move.
And that someone can be you.
Another really important thing we need to talk about is this. Friendship takes time. As adults, we sometimes forget that because we live in a very fast world. We're used to quick messages, quick results, and quick answers. But real friendships don't grow that way, and expecting them to can lead to a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, that's such a good point. You don't become close friends after one conversation or one meeting. That first interaction is usually just a starting point. It helps you notice that you enjoy talking to someone, but it doesn't mean there's already a deep connection. And that's completely normal, especially for adults.
Exactly. A lot of people meet someone once, feel a little connection, and then expect something more to happen right away. When it doesn't, they start thinking, maybe this isn't working, or maybe they're not interested. But most of the time, it's not about interest at all. It's just about time and consistency.
Adult friendships are built through repeated, small interactions over a long period, seeing the same person again and again, having short conversations that slowly become longer ones, feeling more relaxed each time you talk. These moments may seem small, but they're actually how trust and comfort are built.
I think patience is really the key here. As adults, our schedules are full, and friendships have to fit into busy lives. Sometimes weeks pass between conversations, and that can make people worry. But distance or silence doesn't always mean the friendship is disappearing.
Right. A lot of strong adult friendships don't have constant communication. You might not talk every day or even every week, but when you do reconnect, it still feels natural. That kind of connection usually takes time to develop, and it can't be rushed.
Another thing to remember is that people move at different speeds emotionally. Some people open up very quickly, while others need more time to feel safe and comfortable. If someone is slow to open up, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means they're taking things at their own pace.
And when you accept that, it really changes how you see friendship. Instead of putting pressure on every interaction, you allow things to grow naturally. That actually makes conversations feel more relaxed and enjoyable for both people.
I also think adults sometimes give up too early. They think that if a friendship doesn't feel deep right away, it's not worth continuing. But many meaningful friendships start quietly and slowly, without any big moment or clear label.
Yeah, one day you just realize that you've been talking for months, sharing things, supporting each other, and suddenly the friendship feels real. That moment usually comes later after time has done its work.
So if you're listening and you feel like making friends is taking longer than you expected, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means you're doing it in a realistic adult way.
Exactly. Friendship isn't a race, and there's no deadline. The goal isn't to rush or force connection. It's to build something that feels stable and genuine.
So be patient with the process.
Be patient with other people.
And most importantly, be patient with yourself.
I think adults sometimes look for the perfect friend without even realizing it. We don't always say it out loud, but deep down we expect someone who understands us completely, always has time for us, and never lets us down. And that expectation can quietly make friendship harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we imagine someone who always knows the right thing to say, is always emotionally available, and never disappoints us. But when you think about it, that's a lot to expect from another human being, especially when everyone is busy, stressed, and dealing with their own life.
The truth is, that kind of perfect friend doesn't exist, not because people are bad or uncaring, but because people are human. Everyone has limits, bad days, and moments when they can't show up the way they want to.
And when you hold on to the idea of a perfect friendship, you can end up feeling disappointed very quickly. One missed message, one canceled plan, or one misunderstanding suddenly feels like a big problem, even when it's not.
That's why it's important to remember that real friendships are imperfect. They're not smooth all the time, and they don't always feel easy. But that doesn't mean they're weak or unhealthy.
Sometimes you drift apart for a while. Life gets busy, priorities change, and you don't talk as much as you used to. That doesn't mean the friendship has failed, it just means life is happening.
And sometimes you misunderstand each other. You might say something the wrong way, or take something personally, or feel hurt without meaning to. Those moments can be uncomfortable, but they're also very normal.
What matters is how you handle those moments. Strong friendships aren't the ones without problems. They're the ones where people are willing to communicate, forgive, and move forward.
When you let go of the idea of a perfect friend, friendships actually feel lighter. You stop putting pressure on every interaction, and you allow people to be themselves, including their flaws.
And when you accept imperfection, you also give yourself permission to be imperfect too. You don't have to be the perfect friend either. You just have to be real.
And honestly, that's what makes friendships meaningful.
Imperfect, human, and real.
And that's completely normal. You can also have different friends for different parts of your life, and that's completely okay. As adults, we sometimes expect one person to be everything for us, but that's a lot of pressure for any relationship.
Yeah, that's such an important point. In real life, friendships often serve different roles, and they don't all look the same. Expecting one friend to meet every emotional, social, and practical need usually leads to disappointment.
For example, you might have work friends, people you talk to during the day, have lunch with, or complain about work together. You may not share your deepest thoughts with them, but they still make your daily life better.
Exactly. Then you might have gym friends or hobby friends. You see them regularly, you motivate each other, and you enjoy that shared activity, but the friendship stays within that space, and that's perfectly fine.
You might also have old friends who've known you for years. Even if you don't talk often, there's history there. You don't have to explain yourself, and that kind of connection can feel very comforting.
And nowadays, a lot of people also have online friends. These are people you might never meet in person, but you still connect with them, share thoughts, and feel understood. That connection is real too.
The important thing is understanding that not one person has to meet all your emotional needs. No single friend can be available all the time, understand everything, and support you in every situation.
When you spread your connections across different friendships, it actually feels healthier. You're not putting too much pressure on one relationship, and you're allowing each friendship to be what it naturally is.
This mindset also helps reduce disappointment. When you know what role a friendship plays in your life, you stop expecting more than that person can realistically give.
And in a way, it takes pressure off you too. You don't have to be everything for someone else either. You can just show up as you are.
Friendships feel lighter when they're allowed to be different.
And that kind of balance actually helps friendships last longer.
If you're listening right now and feeling lonely, we really want you to know something. This feeling is more common than you might think, even though it doesn't always look that way from the outside.
Yeah, and the first thing we want to say clearly is this: you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you just because making friends feels difficult at this stage of life.
You're also not failing at life. A lot of people quietly believe that if they don't have a strong social circle as an adult, it means they've done something wrong. But that simply isn't true.
Making friends as an adult is genuinely hard. It takes time, energy, courage, and emotional effort, especially when you're already busy and tired. Struggling with this doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human.
And even though it's hard, it is possible. New friendships can still happen later in life. They just look different, and they usually grow more slowly than they did when we were younger.
Sometimes it doesn't start with a big change or a big moment. Sometimes it starts with one small step, like starting a conversation, showing up to the same place again, or sending a message you've been thinking about for a while.
Those small steps might not feel very powerful at first, but they matter. Over time, they add up and create opportunities for connection.
And even if things don't work out right away, that effort still counts. Every small step helps you move forward, even if you can't see the results immediately.
So if you're feeling lonely right now, try to be kind to yourself. You're not behind. You're not alone. You're just in a very human moment of life.
In this moment doesn't define your future. Connection is still possible, one step at a time.
That's it for today's episode of Real English, Real Life.
Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And let us know in the comments, what's been the hardest part about making friends as an adult?
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.